Hey everybody, it's your boy, Captain Hunter, Big L PhD from LMH Consulting Services. Thanks so much for checking out this particular episode. You know, it's difficult often to talk about police-related issues, law enforcement-related issues, criminal justice-related issues because we don't have all the facts. That's why a lot of times people just tend to stay away or shy away from that type of thing until you get all the details, the facts, and all that. And I'm going off a story for this particular case of a story of a woman who, as you can see, it was placed up here. It has been found guilty of manslaughter. However, due to the facts of the case, as determined by a number of medical psychological experts, has been deemed not to have been in some type of marijuana-induced psychosis as she stabbed her boyfriend that she only knew for a couple of weeks 108 times. Now, obviously I cannot dig into all of the report because I don't have it. 37 pages, a report that one of the defense experts relied upon, and of course then the expert for the prosecutor sided with that and said, yeah, this report here makes sense. So I am not a psychologist or psychological expert. I do have a master's degree in forensic psychology. I've never practiced clinically or evaluated anyone on that level. However, my question today is, how do you hold anyone else responsible? How do you hold anyone else responsible when they are under some type of influence? How do you hold somebody responsible when they are under any type of influence? And I'm going to include anger and rage. Anger and rage cloud the mind. Judgment is diminished when you're angry and you're raging and you're doing things that you wish you could take back. How do you hold anyone going forward in the state of California or in any other state that may look at this case and say, it seems like a valid, viable defense? How do you do that? Again, I don't know if the marijuana in this case was laced. I don't know. We don't know all that, right? We're only getting a little bit of the story. I'm admitting that. We don't know all the details. But my question is, and this is something that judges and everyone else has to be able to be prepared to answer. How do you hold other individuals liable, responsible, culpable when and if they act under any type of influence? How do you hold a drunk driver responsible when they're under the influence? Now, to their mindset, she was found guilty, so that's some form of credit. But there's no jail time, right? She was looking at a number of years in prison, jail. So how do you hold her responsible? Right? So she got 100 hours of community service. Now, that's the first question I'm asking is, how do you hold anyone responsible when and if they act out of their mind because they're under the influence of some chemical agent? And I'm going to include anger and rage, adrenaline. I'm going to include that. Second, we had the male-female dilemma here, where we ask a question. The question has to be asked: do we know how to hold the ladies responsible when they commit the same type of crime that men do? We're all for equity, inclusion, equality. We're all for that. And this woman slaughtered her slaughtered her boyfriend. What kind of solace does that give to the boyfriend? What kind of boyfriend's family? What kind of solace? What kind of reason, rationale? What kind of comfort, sense of justice does that give to the family of somebody that this now deceased family member, only met a few weeks ago, according to the newspaper? It slaughters this man, and there's no actual, real, tangible, substantive accountability. Do we know how to do it? Do we have the facilities to do it? Is there a willingness to do it? Do we think that men and women are really the same, or we just feel bad because it's a small, petite woman and she messed up and she's got a whole life in front of her, and there's the whole, white female tears epidemic, right? And I'm talking about male and female, period. Then of course, we have the racial aspect of it. The white female tear situation. Do we actually know how to hold these people accountable when and if they commit this type of heinous act? Do we think, who really believes that a black female who kills her black boyfriend is going to get 100 hours of community service? Who thinks that? In the state of California, what I understand is a mostly Hispanic, demographically Hispanic state, what I understand. I didn't look any of this up. I'm kind of just going off the top of my head here. Who believes that a male Hispanic who kills his Latin lover, female lover, is going to get 100 hours of community service? Who believes that's going to? I already said the white male thing, but the white guy, is the white guy going to get that? Because he smoked a little meth, smoked a little marijuana that caused him to go into a stupor. And we all know that cross-racially, right? A black guy kills a white girl. You know what it is. You know what it is. I teach a class, Race, Ethnicity, and Crime. I'm not teaching it currently as I'm recording this video, but I taught it in the past. This is the case if I was teaching it right now, this is the case we're going to talk about. This is a prime example of what we're talking about. Prime example of what we're talking about. This is the next lesson for the day. Let me say this. I'm not teaching it I usually teach it for 8 to 16 weeks in a 3-credit course. I am teaching it in a micro course, and I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to post this up and ask my students to talk about it. Who thinks that the shoe's on the other foot? Who thinks that? There's 4 determinants of crime, or excuse me, not determinants, 4 purposes for criminal justice, for admonition of punishment. I can't think of them right now. I always kind of forget them. It's deterrence, right? You don't want anybody else to do it, right? You want to set a clear message that this type of behavior is intolerable by our society. We will not have it. So therefore, the punishment that this person is going to get should serve as a lesson to everyone else is going to get it. One of the purposes of punishment, why we give people lengthy, harsh prison sentences. The other part is it's retribution. We don't want neighbors going around killing neighbors, right? You kill my dog, I'm gonna slay your cat. We don't want slaughters in the street. So the state has taken over and said we will dole out and we will reserve the right for ourselves the type of punishment that we feel to be fit. Retribution, deterrence. Another one is incapacitation, right? We don't. This is really for, social those who are members of society who should not be members of society, right? So serial killers and just low down, just bad people. You want to incapacitate them. Don't give them the ability to do it again. And the fourth one is eluding me. I'll put it in here. I gotta look at it. It's eluding me right now. But I always talk about those, right? I always talk about those in class. This woman is not being incapacitated. I don't think that the family has been served any type of justice or retribution. What kind of deterrence is this? This is absolute madness. So, I want to know your thoughts, your opinions, right? This is your family member. You're a black man. You're a black woman. Imagine yourself in this situation. You're a Hispanic person. You're a white male. Kill your girlfriend. You're gonna get 100 hours. How do you hold anybody accountable going forward in the future? Male, female, black, white, who's operating and doing something under the influence and acts out of character. How do you do any of that? How do you do it? This is exactly why people go up in arms, not only over, questionable police shootings, questionable uses of force, but over the dispensation of justice. This is justice? 100 hours of community service? Let me know your thoughts, your opinions. Put yourself in these people's shoes, the family's shoes, the woman's shoes. You know that this is a man. This is not gonna fly. If you're another race, this is not gonna fly. Who thinks that? Who thinks that? Much love and peace, everyone.